Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a Marvel team up, right? But instead of, the usual gleaming heroes saving the day, think about a squad of characters who've, well, skirted the line. Baggage, morally gray choices, the works. What if heroism itself got stretched into these interesting shades of gray? That's exactly what we're diving into today with Marvel's latest and maybe boldest experiment, the Thunderbolts. So we've gone deep into the insights from Premiere Next. They're always on the pulse, right? We pulled out all the essential takeaways about this new team. Our mission for you is simple: give you a clear understanding of why Thunderbolts is being called Marvel's Dark Avengers project, and what it means for the MCU going forward, and why it's already making so much noise.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating here is that Thunderbolts isn't just, another Marvel movie. It's actually being positioned as one of the biggest streaming launches of 2025 on Disney Plus brand. That's huge. It signals a pretty significant shift, moving away from that traditional, sometimes black and white hero archetype towards something more complex. The source calls it darker, more intense, and unpredictable. And it really suggests Marvel knows there's an audience hungry for that kind of story.
Oh, definitely. And that line about these missions being ones the Avengers would never be called for, that really stuck with me. It sets a tone immediately, doesn't it?
It does. It suggests operations needing a very particular skill set and maybe a particular kind of moral flexibility too.
Absolutely. Makes you lean in, right? So, in this deep dive, we'll peel back the layers. Who are these characters? What's this murky mission they're on? And why is it already blowing up worldwide? You see hashtag Thunderbolts, hashtag Marvel Phase 5 trending everywhere. Clearly, Marvel's hit a nerve.
So the basic question first. What exactly is Thunderbolts? Beyond the cool name, it's Marvel's newest team-up, but with this big philosophical twist. Forget Captain America's compass or Iron Man's quips. This squad, it's anti-heroes, maybe some reformed villains, characters operating in that gray area we mentioned.
Yeah.
It feels like a very deliberate pivot.
Yeah, and our source, Premiere Next, really drills down on that by calling it Marvel's Dark Avengers project. And that's not just catchy marketing, is it? It genuinely promises a completely fresh experience compared to the usual MCU good versus evil stuff. It feels, well, intentional. Maturation, maybe. That's what makes it so interesting to me.
I agree. The concept itself, it really challenges how we think about heroism in the MCU. For years, Marvel built its empire on these aspirational figures, characters you could just root for, no questions asked. Now they're asking us, as in you, to invest in people who've made some pretty questionable choices, people carrying real weight from their pasts.
Right. It's not about stopping Loki with a witty comeback this time.
It's exactly. This is about ambiguous operations, probably involving ethical compromises. Needing people who aren't just willing to get their hands dirty, but who already have. So Dark Avengers isn't just for shock value. It's a statement about narrative direction, exploring morality from a whole different angle. It's definitely a risk, but culturally it seems like it's landing.
And the immediate impact.
Yeah.
Wow. Nothing short of phenomenal. Thunderbolts dropped on Disney Plus this week, and bam, one of the biggest streaming launches of 2025.
Hmm.
It's not just background noise, it's a global thing. Fans everywhere are tuning in, engaging. Social media is just on fire with hashtag Thunderbolts, hashtag Marvel Phase 5. It shows people were ready for Marvel to, push things a bit.
That success, it points to a pretty sophisticated audience taste, I think. And a huge chunk of that appeal comes down to the cast bringing this thing to life. It's absolutely star-studded, yeah, but what's really smart is how it elevates these compelling side characters, finally gives them the spotlight they deserve. You've got Florence Pugh, obviously, her Yelena Belova.
Oh, she's brilliant. Stole every scene in Black Widow and Hawkeye. That sarcasm, but also the grief.
Exactly. Then you have Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Always complex, grappling with decades of trauma.
Such a journey for that character.
And David Harbour as Red Guardian. He brings that unique, sort of comedic, washed-up charm.
Yeah, the Russian Captain America figure, kind of.
And Wyatt Russell back as U.S. agent, a character whose morality has always been, well, fiercely debated, let's say, often uncomfortable.
Right, he definitely pushes buttons.
And rounding it out, Hannah John Kamen as Ghost, Olga Kurylenko as Taskmaster. Plus, the source even teases many more exciting surprises they're keeping under wraps. Which just adds to it, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Keeps you guessing.
And if you connect this to the bigger picture, assembling these specific characters, it hammers home that theme of redemption, internal conflict. That's the core of anti-hero appeal, right? These aren't blank slates. They have established, often really troubled, pasts within the MCU. Yelena's dealing with her sister's legacy, her own past. Bucky's haunted by being a HYDRA assassin. U.S. agent struggling with a legacy he maybe can't handle, acting out of, well, conviction, maybe misguided.
Shared histories of manipulation, identity struggles.
Exactly. Makes them perfect for a team that operates outside the usual heroic lines. Marvel's not just throwing characters together, they're using that existing depth. It tells mature stories without needing long origin tales. It's smart, leveraging years of world building.
That depth is absolutely crucial, and it seems to be the backbone of the storyline. Premiere Next keeps spoilers out, thankfully, but gives a good overview. The team's brought together by Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is playing her with such cunning.
Oh yeah, she's perfect for that role.
And the mission. A special mission that the Avengers would never be called for. Like we said, that signals something different. What kind of mission needs this team?
Yeah, what's beneath, or maybe beyond, the Avengers scope? It makes you wonder. And the internal stuff looks huge. The team is loaded with past mistakes, trust issues, and hidden agendas. That mix of baggage is what fuels that darker, more intense, and unpredictable tone. You're not always sure who to root for, or even if you should root for them.
That's a really interesting place to put the audience, especially a Marvel audience used to clearer heroes.
Precisely. The storyline forces you to engage with tough questions. What's heroism when dealing with anti-heroes? Do the ends justify messy means? This isn't saving the cat from the tree, or even the universe from Thanos, maybe. It's navigating a landscape where solutions might be as murky as the problems. That inherent distrust within the team promises something far more volatile than the Avengers banter, puts a judgment on the audience. That's mature storytelling.
And what's really significant, this isn't just a standalone story, right? That's key for the future MCU. Thunderbolts is highlighted as a key piece of Marvel's Phase 5. It's not just a movie. It's actively setting up crucial events for the future, especially leading towards the next big Avengers crossover. Foundational stuff.
And here's the kicker, the detail that it lays down the seeds for an even bigger clash than Infinity War. Just let that sink in. Infinity War was half of all life vanishing.
Wow. Yeah.
If Thunderbolts is setting up something bigger, it really makes you, the listener, consider the huge implications. Could that bigger clash be less physical, more philosophical, challenging the very idea of heroism? That would be a profound shift in the stakes for the whole MCU.
That's a really important distinction.
Yeah, it raises this question. How will these darker elements, these morally great characters, reshape the moral landscape, the stakes for future Avenger-level threats? If the hero-villain line keeps blurring, if solutions get morally messy, what does that mean for the Avengers' ideals? It suggests a future where challenges are internal, philosophical, not just external threats. The definition of victory itself could get way more complicated. Maybe heroes make choices they wouldn't have before. It feels like Marvel's growing up with its audience.
And the fans. Seems like they are absolutely loving it. Early reactions, according to Premiere Next, show people are loving the gritty, grounded approach. It's really resonating, and many are making this interesting comparison. Feels like a mix of Marvel action and DC-style darkness.
That is telling.
Yeah, it's a strong statement, given their usually distinct tones. Suggests Marvel's tapping into something audiences want. And specifically, Florence Pugh's Yelena and Sebastian Stan's Bucky getting massive praise for their performances, clearly hitting home, capturing those nuances, letting audiences connect.
So why is it trending so hard?
Well, first, it's Marvel's boldest experiment in years. That gets attention from fans wanting innovation. Then there's the undeniable pull of anti-heroes. People are drawn to flaws, complexities, internal battles. It's human, even in a superhero world. Relatable struggles, yeah. The story itself teases big twists for the future, keeping everyone guessing, invested in the long game. And of course, you can't discount social media hype. It just amplifies everything, turns theories viral.
Those fan reactions, they really do highlight a growing sophistication. Viewers aren't always just looking for simple good versus evil. They want narratives exploring that messy middle ground. The DC comparison isn't just casual. It reflects a desire for more mature, nuanced blockbuster stories overall. And the praise for Pugh and Stan shows how well these complex characters connect when written and performed powerfully. It's good writing, strong performances.
So, the bottom line, should you watch it? Premiere Next says it's unmissable for Marvel fans. But I'd go further. Even if you're not a hardcore MCU follower, if you like action, appreciate characters in gray areas, enjoy darker, layered stories, then yeah, Thunderbolts sounds like the perfect weekend watch.
And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. The movie's immediate success suggests a major audience appetite for these complex, less-than-heroic narratives in blockbusters. It's a signal to studios. The MCU, the whole genre, can push boundaries and still find huge success. It feels like a maturation of the genre itself, which is incredibly exciting for storytelling.
Absolutely. So bringing it all together,
So what's the takeaway? Thunderbolts feel like a pivotal moment for Phase 5. Moving beyond traditional heroes to explore these messy, complex lives, it shows audiences want stories challenging black and white morality, that bold experiments can really work. Its success on Disney+, the praise for the cast bringing that gritty, grounded approach to life, it strongly suggests a real shift, maybe a permanent one, in what audiences want from these big cinematic universes. A coming of age for blockbusters, perhaps.
so you've just gotten our deep dive into why this Dark Avengers project isn't just another movie. It's a potential game changer for the whole MCU, setting up that even bigger clash down the road. It's really fascinating watching these creative risks pay off.
Which brings us to a final thought for you, the listener, to ponder. In a world where our heroes are getting more complicated, more morally ambiguous, what kind of stories do you think we need now from our cinematic universes? Are we really craving more of the darker, more intense, unpredictable? Or will things swing back eventually? What does the huge success of characters like Yelena and Bucky, characters operating in shadows, tell us about how the hero itself is evolving? Something to think about as you watch the future of the MCU unfold.